Hey everyone, welcome back to Life After Sunday, the midweek mic. This is episode 8, and we're going to talk about healing today.
Yeah.
Can I start with something? I just want to say this is a hard topic, I think, for a lot of people, myself included. You know, it's something that is hard to understand when it does or doesn't happen. And so just to remind you that we are not biblical scholars who have this all figured out. We're just humans trying to dig into the word and learn some more along with you. So,
Yeah. I think we said in the intro episode, this is typically what we would do on a Sunday driving home from church.
yeah.
We would just discuss,
Mm-hmm.
we would discuss what the topic was about. And then that sometimes would lead into other discussions within the Bible. And it was something that really strengthened our faith. Just got us to, it was just a time that we enjoyed.
And we would ask questions and, kind of talk through them together. So,
yeah. And
that's kind of what this
kind
is.
of got us a way to look for other things to study, because she would ask something and I'd be like, that's really good. I wonder why. And then we would get into different studies and we would look it up, and we get different theologies and opinions and, just mash it all together and try to form some kind of idea of what it is. And kind of what we're doing here for this podcast is we're just bringing what we usually would do, and just with a microphone and a camera and an audience of like 5. I'm kidding. It's like 6. But
we'll be modest, it's 10.
No, we're happy to just whoever wants to hear us talk, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just want to ignite discussions and importantly get people in the word.
Yeah. I know we look smart, but we don't have it all figured out yet. So
people are looking at me right now and they're like, please, no. So yeah, I mean, we really hope that you actually get into the Bible and just figure out it out on your own, and
we all get some fresh revelation from
this.
this.
So you can be in the comments on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, wherever we're at and you're watching. Give your comments. Give what it is that now. It's kind of like a helpful comment, not just like doesn't work. Add to that, please. I'm just thinking of a comment section in particular. So.
TikTok is a little bit harsh. We're finding out.
We've had 2 where there's been some negative comments where they're like, I'm not sure if you got like the gist of the topic.
Well, also they're just watching a small clip of it and not watching the full podcast video to get understanding. Like it was a joke and they took it the wrong way.
I think some of it like maybe struck a nerve with
that too.
These people, and they were just like really upset about doing dishes and being present for their children. It was just crazy.
So Duane is practicing self-control and not responding to all of the messages.
It is very hard. Thank you. So we just wanted to start off with that. We really look forward to seeing engaging comments and just uplifting, really. Give your opinion, where it's coming from. What do you think? What did you like? What did you not like? Just whatever. There is a person who comments on our YouTube video weekly, and I literally look forward to that, Kimber. I look forward to it. And this last one, I was like, I don't know, like a day. I was like, oh no, she didn't comment. I was like really worried.
He's waiting for you.
So yeah, I saw her outside. She lives in our area. And I was going to stop and be like, hey, I really like you listen. Oh, that's so creepy. But yeah, so that's what we just wanted to start off with.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the topic. Yeah, healing was discussed Sunday, but we're going to get into that. But I think we're maybe taking a different perspective or look than she's maybe presenting. She didn't give the full direction today.
There's going to be a part 2 of this healing topic next Sunday.
So I doubt
she was like just starting to get into it, really. So
I doubt we're going to step on her toes with anything that we're saying. But yeah, Pastor Patty brought up some things, and when she was talking, I felt like God was just kind of like, hey, lean into this, lean into that, lean into this. And I was like, okay, and cool. I'll just do that on the podcast and see if it works out. So one of the things that she started off about, and I don't even know how she got onto this word, but she said stirring. And as soon as she said that, my mind went somewhere. And then,
I think she said, "What's stirring you?"
yeah,
And then something started stirring in you.
something started stirring. So I was like, okay, I'm listening, God. What do you want? What do you want to talk about? And I don't know if it was because she said stirring and then we also have the topic of healing, but I was thinking of the story in John chapter 5 with the paralytic man and the pools of Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read from this real quick, just to give you an idea if you don't know the story. But in John 5, it says, "Now in Jerusalem by the sheep gate there is a pool called in Hebrew Bethesda, which has 5 pools. In these lay many invalids, blind, lame, and paralyzed. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been there a long time, he said to him, 'Do you want to be made well?' The sick man answered him, 'Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I am making my way, someone else steps down ahead of me.' Jesus said to him, 'Stand up, take your mat and walk.' At once the man was made well, and he took up his mat and began to walk." So, of course, this is healing, and I know it. When people discuss this, they go on to different topics of you have to be willing to don't allow people to step over you, and all these different ways of being preached. But I was more interested in the stirring of the pools. So the pools would be stirred, and then these people would go in and get their healing. It was something within the stirring that ignited the power. And I thought of ourselves as believers. There are moments where we're not stirred as non-believers. We're just stagnant pools of water, nothing happening. And then God comes into your life and he stirs those waters. Your spirit gets stirred. You have the Spirit of God within you who is stirring these waters. So then now you have those gifts. Mm-hmm. You can go out there. You have the power to do miraculous things. And I just thought, wow, that's so cool. Like, it was just a reminder. Like, I know that, and I know that I also can do much greater things than Jesus did here on earth, because that's what he says. And I don't know. I think sometimes we're waiting for someone to stir us.
Yeah. Or I think we're just so caught up in general life that we forget what we're walking with inside of us.
Yeah. And we kind of think like, oh, you know what? Maybe my pools aren't stirring as much as somebody else's pools. Yeah.
Maybe someone else has a greater pool than yours.
Yeah.
Or something
has a slide and a jacuzzi tub.
It's deeper.
Oh man, no. But there's different. We look at others and we think, oh, they stepped over me, or that person has more than me, or
like they're more godly than I am.
Yeah.
Or they have it more figured out than I do.
But the person who stirred their pools is also stirring yours. Yeah. Is also living within you.
You have the same access to God that anyone else has.
Yeah. So the way we can stir the pools is by seeking him, and no matter what we have going on. We seek him through prayer. We seek him through his word. So yeah, I just thought that was an interesting concept, is to think of yourself in that situation where God is stirring you. Yeah. You are being stirred. I know in the Bible it talks about the gifts the Spirit being flamed like a fire. So you have this, and it's the stirring, and we can pray for the stirring of the Spirit, and it does happen. So yeah, I just thought that was a great reminder.
Cool image. Yeah.
You have these pools and they're being stirred. Mm-hmm. So another thing that I was thinking about is just how many people only seek miracles. They go to church for miracles. They are asking God for miracles. They have only physical healing on their mind. And physical healing does happen.
Yeah, and it's okay to come with expectations for God to move. But if you're searching for like the blessings of God over an actual relationship with God, then that's not okay.
Exactly.
You know? There's a song I think of, I think Anna Golden sings it, and the one part says, I'm not chasing a miracle, I'm chasing the maker, you know, which
That's
is so good to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you actually in this for? You know, are you going to church just to be like, everybody pray for me and let all these things work out for me? Or are you going there because that's where you're meeting Jesus and
Exactly.
seeking a deeper relationship with him?
I think people want to go to the services thinking, oh, I'm going to be healed. Oh, I want to have that physical healing. And what you really want is an encounter with God.
Yeah. And if you're going there and it doesn't happen and you're getting discouraged, that's really hard, because we have those instances where you could be praying for a physical healing and it might not come on earth.
Yeah.
You know, I think of my dad and how we gathered around him as a church and across nations because he was a missionary, like so many people praying, and he didn't get healed here. And you question why, when there's so much faith, because you just need faith the size of a mustard seed, right?
Yeah.
So you're wondering, like, why didn't God answer it this way? But to remember that we don't have the big picture like he does. So my dad not being healed and still praising God the whole time is a bigger testament, I think, you know? So if you're going through this thing and you're not seeing a healing, like, don't let that discourage you.
Yeah, because it can be discouraging if you're focused on the wrong things.
If you're only in it for what you can get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
When we're here to serve, we are servants and we are vessels for God to work
the
through.
miracles are blessings.
Yes, that's added cherries on top.
They're just the overflow of what you receive from God. But in that topic, I want to go to Matthew 12, verse 38. I say 12 weird, but 12, like I used to say it with like the TH, 12.
Depends what you're saying.
I know, but like
I was in 12th place, or
I know, but I would always say like
there were 12 disciples.
Oh, chapter 12.
Oh, well, that's weird.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
But you just said it correct that time.
I did, so. Because I had to think about it, and I feel like it came across. I was like 12. 38. Then some of the scribes and Pharisees said to him, "Teacher, we wish to see a sign from you." But he answered them, "An evil and adulterous generation asks for a sign, but no sign will be given to it except the sign of prophet Jonah." And then he goes into Jonah and the 3 days in the well, and then that's connection to Jesus. But I think it's important to see that he's saying, you're looking for signs, you're looking for these miracles, but you're an adulterous generation. Like he's telling them that they're looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah. So where is your heart? Because I think Jesus is more concerned with your spiritual well-being than your physical well-being.
Yeah. To go further, so he goes into talking about an unclean spirit and then casting out an unclean spirit. So when the unclean spirit has gone out of a person, it wanders through waterless regions looking for a resting place, but it finds none. Then it says, "I will return to my house from which I came." When it comes, it finds it empty, swept, and put in order. Then it goes and brings along 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they enter and live there, and the last state of that person is worse than the first. So it will be also with this evil generation. So he ends it with this evil generation. What are you going to have? You're going to get your miracles, but you're not going to get the transformation in your heart that you should be seeking.
Like if you're leaving that room empty where the demons have fled from and you're not filling it with God, then it's going to be filled back again with worse. The same worse things. Yeah.
I want to go back to that little part that says, it just sounds like a nice little cottage scene in my head.
Like Snow White.
Yeah. Exactly.
And the animals are sleeping.
It's swept and it's
I wish
nice.
That was real.
Yeah. But I just think of that, like, so we have this nice swept, clean home in our hearts. And why wouldn't you fill it with the person who cleaned it?
Yeah.
You know, why would you fill it with dirtiness again?
Yeah. We just spent 2 days probably cleaning my daughter's room. We affectionately call her a crow because she saves every piece of garbage that is.
Guys, she had 200 communion cups.
She saves them after church. So we take the communion and she goes around and collects them all and takes them home. And I'm like, what are you doing with these? So I spent,
But why?
I don't know.
I don't
Still don't know.
understand.
I don't even know
Why
where
do
they
you
are.
collect a communion cup? Is she saving? Like, is she opening her own church someday?
But so that's just an example though. Like she has so many things that I see as trash that she treasures, you know. So we call her the crow. But I just spent 2 or 3 days cleaning and organizing her room. And I told her, I said, if I do this and I spent all this time and you mess it up so bad again, I'm not going to be very happy with you.
And she said, oh, I'm so excited. I love my clean room.
Yeah, she keeps telling us how she's not stressed now because the room is clean. And I'm like, yeah, me too, girl.
Yeah.
So just don't let the room get dirty again.
Yeah.
Keep out the garbage.
We're just like her. We're like, oh, I'm so excited. Like
Yeah.
I have this new perspective on life. Like this just happened for me. I'm excited about the power of God, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do it. And then, like, you know, life hits you again. And this spear comes back. And then something else comes back. And something else comes back. And it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse. And your focus was on that miracle to happen. And because that miracle is slowly fading, because things do happen, that, I mean, like, look at everything God does in the Bible.
Absolutely.
The Old Testament, we have people getting out of slavery.
Yes.
And they're like, I want to go back.
The Israelites over and over again would
I want
see
some meat. I don't want this magical food on the ground.
But they would see this huge move of God, this huge miracle, and then go right back to complaining and saying, God, where are you? And then worshiping false idols again, like over and over, where we're reading it and we're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But don't we do the same thing?
We do the same exact thing. We get this clean spirit. We get these miracles that happen. And because our focus was on getting that miracle and we got it, it's been gotten. Now, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Don't let your heart go back.
You're going to look for the next thing in your life that's horrible. And you're going to be like, oh, I want that miracle to happen here now. Focus on God. Focus on the true source of happiness in this world. Because if you're focusing on the miracles, if you're focusing on the storm in your life, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna happen. Yeah. I think of Job. I'm reading Job right now, and I just got chapter 3, so I'm not that far into it. But I mean, I know what happens because I've read it so many times. It's not like it's gonna surprise me. But he just got done. First of all, it's horrible. Like,
it's a bad
one guy after another. It's like, he's sitting there and this guy comes in and he's like, hey, guess what? This happened. And then another guy comes in and he's like, no, get this.
I'd be like, no one else come to my house right now. I'm not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
Like there's enough going on.
Yeah. So like, so he has these sores he's inflicted now physically, and he's using pottery or something to scrape these sores, which sounds nasty. But his wife comes up and says, just curse him. Yeah. Curse God already. Yeah.
And she was not being supportive.
And he says, no. Can I take only the good and not the bad? Yeah. And that's how we should observe life. Can I only take the good and not the bad? Because I know that the bad that God has, he turns into good.
This made me think of something. So our son is a huge Steelers fan. And you don't want to be like a bandwagon fan where...
I hate when he does that, though.
Anytime, like, he has all the jerseys and all the tape on the eyes, and he's all ready on game day. And then when they lose, he's like, I'm burning my jerseys. I'm done with them. He's like 10, so he's being really crazy.
Being around a bunch of Steeler fans, that's just how it is. You get really upset.
Don't be a bandwagon fan of God where you're only like, God's good because he did this for me. Mm-hmm. You got to love him on when all things are going down the toilet also, you know, because he's always good and he's always faithful. You don't see the big picture when you're going through it, but isn't there always fruit that comes from walking through those hard things? There's always fruit. There's always purpose.
There is. And here's my other little scripture. Let me get back to it. It is 2 Corinthians chapter 12, and I'll start at 7. So a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from being too elated. 3 times I appealed to the Lord about this, that it would leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. Yeah. So we go through these trials and we're made perfect. Mm-hmm.
We're made more like Christ as we walk through these hard things,
Because he cares more about the character,
Mhm.
and he cares more. He came to this, Jesus came here, and he did do miracles. He did have the physical healings. Demons were going into pigs and all of that. And we have all of that happening, but he is more worried about their faith,
Mm.
more worried about their sinful natures.
The
He
condition of
wants
their heart.
those to
Yeah.
change. And that's, what he's saying is like, do not focus on these things that I can do.
And when you think about heaven and the vastness of it and like the main point of our lives, does physical ailment even matter? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to look perfect. Things don't have to be going perfectly. But if your heart is seeking God, and
Yeah.
that is the point of your life, is to
Now, somebody may be going through something and they're watching this and they're like,
I'm not
easy for
downplaying
you to
it.
say.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know how you are feeling right now, and I don't know how your spiritual walk with God is, but I would hope when I'm in those situations that in those times is when I hold even tighter to him. Because without him, I'm just going through pain. I'm just going through this physical ailment. I'm going through just whatever it is. I'm going through it for nothing.
Yeah. With God, there's peace and there's love, and there's a point when you come out on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Or if the
That
other
reminds me,
side,
keep talking. There's something else I'm going to look up.
but if the other side doesn't come on earth and it comes in heaven, watching my dad, knowing he's healed now, and for him to not lose faith, that meant everything to me, So you don't know what effect you're having when you're suffering with this thing. And even if it's not taken away, I mean, I hope it is, but if not, what a testimony you have because you didn't lose sight of God through it the whole time.
You see the beauty of God no matter what.
Right.
So if you made it through here on earth, you see the beauty of God. You
Right.
see what happened. You can look back. I know things in my life that I prayed for and maybe didn't see an answer to. And I look back and I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't see it.
It's usually, you look back at the past you and you're like, it all works out. Stop stressing about it. Like, God has you. Are you looking for something?
Yeah. I just want to make sure this was the one I was looking for. I don't want another sheep teeth issue.
Another reference.
So it's Romans 5, and it says, therefore, since we are justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through whom we have obtained access to this grace in which we stand, and we boast in our hope of sharing the glory of God. And not only that, but we also boast in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not disappoint us, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit that has been given to us.
Love that.
Wraps it up.
So much goodness right in that little verse.
I mean, it wraps it up. We go through this, and in our weakness, God shows his strength. And I know that's so cliche, and people are like, well, yeah, that's what Christians say, but we say it because it's true. There are people who've lived through it. We've lived through it. We know that in his weakness, it's because I have nothing else. I have nothing else to do but to trust him, to lean on him, to know that it's going to be fine. It's going to be good. God's got my back. That's so corny.
I like corn, so you're fine.
But I like here, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for our character.
So if you think of everything you walk through as an opportunity, instead of complaining about it, which, listen, I like to complain too. Like, I'm not saying that I'm handling this perfectly, but just think of what good can come from this. What can I share with others because I've walked through this?
So like even with healing, like it can happen.
Oh yeah.
So that in itself is a testimony. It's showing that, God's miracle working powers are happening here today.
Yeah.
I think of a time when I was a kid there was a lady who came to our church. She had a very serious illness, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I just remember everybody saying that it was serious, that I think even the doctors may have given her only a few years to live.
Yeah.
So whatever was going on, it was fatal. And I remember her, being up front praying. She was seeking that miracle. She was up front praying with all the faith, and everybody was around her praying for her. We were all there for her. And then she did get that miracle.
Yeah.
Like, the test came back and said, yeah, you're good. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong. You can live your life as normally as you want.
That's crazy.
And yeah, it was great. And we see those happen a lot with people where they say, oh, you have a brain tumor, you have this issue, they only give you a few years to live, and then next thing you know, you get another scan and it's completely gone.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, it happened after prayer.
Yeah. And I would suggest keeping a prayer journal, because like I was looking through some of my old ones and seeing the answered prayers. Like I'll write a prayer on one side and, keep filling it out. And then when it's answered, I go back and write like, hey, God answered this. This is what happened.
Yeah.
And then to go back and look at that, you can see God's faithfulness in the way he responds to prayer.
Yeah. I think it's funny that even healing is coming up in this time, because we've talked about him multiple times on this podcast already, and we've only had 8 episodes. But Forrest Frank just went through that very public back, broken. He was going to be laid out. Mm-hmm. He still made some, like, a killer song while laying in bed.
Made some music from
through the pain, though. I think there's a video of him and his wife, and she's pulling him out of bed or something.
Yeah, she has like a towel around his back and is like trying to
therapy
reposition
maybe?
Or get up or down. I don't know what he was doing.
But he's crying.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so moving that she's also crying. Like she's going through the pain with him, but he's crying out to God in these moments, and he's still making music for God. He's still focusing on God. And then he gets a call like, your back's fine.
And he felt totally better. Like he was just wearing a brace as a precaution, but it was like 2 weeks, I think, exactly. And his back was healed and everything was okay.
So healing does happen.
Yeah.
Healing is here on earth. And I think it's important to point out the power of prayer.
Yeah.
I do also want to say, with that lady who was healed at my church, I saw kind of the example of the wandering demon in the desert. So she did get her healing, and then it was a few months and she stopped coming to church. And I'm not saying that she needed to come to our church specifically, or there were signs in her life and things that she was saying that seemed like she took a step away from God. So she took a step away from God. Next thing you know, her health went back in decline. Her family and relationships were in decline. Her finances were in decline. She was forced to move. Their, job issues. Like, we see that
you can't separate yourself from God.
The healing happened, but after that healing, after you get your miracle, where was her heart seeking? It wasn't seeking actually God. And
you wonder why. Like, I feel like if you got a miraculous healing, that would just make you fall more in love with him and want to chase him harder, But I guess that's not the case for everybody.
It's not.
Yeah.
And it's just a warning of when you are coming to God with these prayers. She mentioned empty prayers. And we want to make sure that we don't have empty prayers.
Yeah.
I know I'm very, very cautious about when I say I'm going to pray.
Sure.
I wasn't like that a few years ago, but it was because somebody kind of brought this to my attention are you just doing vanity prayers? Are you just saying, I'll pray for you?
Yeah.
And not actually doing it, or just doing a quick blah blah blah. There it is.
Yes.
I prayed for you.
And I think too, I get in a routine like when I tuck the kids in bed and I just say like the same rote prayer, like just to get it out of the way quickly
Mm,
because it's been a long night. I'm ready for them to go to bed so I can have like alone time, you know? But it's like that's an important moment where I should be getting my kid involved in praying and speaking. Like that's an opportunity for me to speak over them and to pray for them and to have this moment of connection to God.
right.
And here I am just reciting this quick rote prayer, you know, that I say the same thing every
And God
day.
knows. God knows that your heart's not behind it,
Yeah.
and that
Like
you,
I'm just doing it to get it done.
and
That's not
God's not
fair.
in that
Yeah.
prayer.
Yeah.
Like you aren't bringing God into the prayer.
No. And Patty said, she said, like, not fancy prayers. They don't have to be fancy, but they need to be faith prayers. So you need to have meaning behind the words that you're saying, and your heart
Exactly.
needs to be in it, you know?
Yeah. So the stories that she talked about, we have in Second Kings, we have Isaiah talking. The prophet gives a prophecy for King Hezekiah. A great faithful king was faithful to God, but it was told to him that I think it was like a sore or a blister,
Or an
something,
ulcer or something.
something on
Yeah.
his skin was fatal, and he was going to he was going to die and to put his affairs in order. And so that was a prophecy that happened to him, was spoken over him, and in that moment he turned to God,
Yeah.
and
He
he
cried
prayed,
out to God and prayed. Yeah.
and he reminded God of his faithfulness, and he just cried out to God, and God was moved.
Yeah.
So it shows you that your prayers do move God.
Yeah. He hears you and he responds to earnest prayer.
Sincere prayer.
Yeah.
Not just our, dear God, please heal this person.
Yeah.
Dear God, just do it.
Don't just say it just to say it.
Okay,
To
now,
be like, oh, I prayed, I'm a good person
Yeah.
because I said a prayer for them.
or just be like, okay, I'm going to say this prayer, but right now
But,
my
like-
thoughts are on what's going to happen
Right.
after church.
Right. But like cry out to God, like let him feel your heart and your emotion. Like bring it all. You know?
And I know it's tough sometimes when there is nothing going on with you personally. Like you don't, you're not in that emotional, but if you have empathy for the person that you're praying for,
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that goes a long way.
It comes down to like God's love too, how we're supposed to love everyone as God does. Like all these people are God's children.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of that and you're putting yourself where they're at,
I truly love this person. I'm going to pray for them as it is myself on
yeah.
the line.
Yeah.
I think is how the prayer should go. Like I need to just have that spirit stirred again and activate what you know,
I like
that
that.
connection.
Like pray as much for the other person as you would for yourself, you know?
Yeah. So then we have, coincidentally, the next one was in Numbers, and it was Moses. Aaron and Miriam, his brother and sister, were talking smack and
Siblings,
about
man.
Moses.
Yep.
And God got upset, and Miriam ended up with leprosy. So she had leprosy, and Moses went on her behalf and asked God to heal her. But it wasn't until after Miriam and Aaron both repented.
They repented, yeah.
So repentance also needs to be, I think, coming with a prayer that you understand that the world is fallen, that you are of the world in that state,
Right.
and knowing and bringing the feeling that God, I know that you are more than this, and I'm in awe and of glory of what you bring to my life and bring to the table.
And just like telling him how much you need him. Like we can't do anything apart from him. So
Yeah. And some of the scholars say that's in Hezekiah's situation, the reason that maybe the life or the death sentence happened for him was because he was a great king, and it was just a reminder that you are still mortal, that you have to be humble. And
like it's not your power. You still need God. It makes you, when you're in a situation, rely on God because you come to the end of yourself where you can't do anything else to help yourself.
right.
You need to rely on him to get you through that.
Yes. So I think I think it's very important for us just to remind everybody that healing can happen, miracles still happen.
Absolutely. Don't ever stop
Prayer
praying.
prayer
Yeah.
is extremely important,
Mm-hmm.
but make sure that what you're seeking in those prayers, what you're seeking in anything that you do in life, in the word and prayer and worship, that you're not seeking the miracles, that you're not
Mm-hmm.
seeking the blessings, that you're
Yeah.
not bringing something to God just for the fun of it. You're not
Right.
just, oh, is this going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Is this, oh, I can't wait to see this. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's exciting. It's exciting to see
Yeah.
God move.
Like be chasing God's heart, and
Mhm.
then you'll know what to pray for.
Like I can
And
think of many times in my life where God has shown up,
yeah,
answered my prayer,
you forget about it.
and I didn't think the prayer was ever going to happen. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like sends me to a job that I wanted, or, sends me to a place that I wanted, or stuff like I'm thinking specifically the time that I wanted my big boy job,
Yeah.
got it,
It
realized,
was
nah, I
terrible.
don't want this.
Yeah. The money was nice, but it was not worth.
And I did freak out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I just got this situation. What am I going to do? What am I going to
Mm-hmm.
do? God allowed me into that position, which I didn't think I was ever going to get. I should know that he
Yeah.
has me.
Yeah.
He has my
For
back
sure.
in that
And I
situation.
think of a time too, I wanted a position really badly and I didn't get it and I thought it was perfect. And I was so upset. I cried for a few days, not understanding. I was like, God, this seems like it's perfect and this is where I should be. Like, why didn't you let it happen? And then a couple years down the road, I actually got something that I wanted more that I didn't even think would be available.
Yeah.
So it's just, it might not look like an answered prayer in the moment, but you can always look back and be like, look at his faithfulness. Like he had the better plan in mind. I just didn't see it.
And we have stories, to keep on theme with healing. We have stories where we've prayed for people. I mean, your dad's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
We prayed for them and they didn't get healed. I think of my great uncle who was like my pap to me towards the end of his life. He died as well, and we were
Mm-hmm.
praying for him. And there are people that we pray for, and it's just like anything in the world. We think of the negatives over the
Yeah,
positives.
right.
So there are people who have died when we've asked for healing, or who haven't received that healing when we asked for it. It's not always ending in death, but who haven't received that healing. But there are so much more people in the world that received healing that we've
Mm-hmm.
prayed for.
Right.
It could be something super small, but it also is large healings as well. It's very important just to stick with it and to keep
Yeah.
praying and to just hope God's will happen
Yeah.
here on earth.
And just know if you trust God, like you believe everything the Bible says, you know that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Whatever the outcome is, you are held and you are loved and you are taken care of. So
Yes.
just try to think of the kingdom perspective on it,
Mm-hmm.
where you don't see all the workings behind the situation like God does,
Yep. So always seek God and always seek his kingdom.
Yeah, for sure.
So this was part one.
Yeah.
We kind of took it a different way. Some of the points that we wanted, and we'll see what she has for part two. Can't
Yeah,
wait.
we're excited.
If you are able to, come out to Life Church Ebensburg for part two. See what God has coming for us there. If you can't make it out to Life Church Ebensburg on Sunday, as always, we love to hear from you. So please get into the social media and let's see some positivity out there, and respond and engage to the Facebook posts. I really love seeing those. And
Yeah.
Kimber, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this one. But yeah, we'll talk to you all on Wednesday.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.